Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of
Old Roommates,
the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. I'm Brian Macefield.
I am Christina Walsh. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome. So what is Old Roommates, Christina?
Well, Old Roommates is just what it sounds like. Old roommates talking and giving their opinions about pop culture and some of the shows that we watched that we used to back in the day. I guess it was called binge watching back in the day?
You couldn't even binge.
Yeah,
you couldn't binge watch
unless we had it on DVD or VHS tape.
Yeah, but I think so the podcast is basically going back, rewatching these old. Or really not even that old, but like old movies from like 80s, 90s, but TV shows too. Some of the things that we'll be tackling in the near future are Sex and the City, season 1, and Heathers. And it's definitely like nostalgia overload. So we're really, one of the reasons we're doing this is to just kind of revisit things that we loved, or maybe we didn't even like that much, but now with this older perspective, see if it holds up, see how it affects us, because we're a little different than we were 20 years ago.
You're different?
A little. We've been friends for, oh my gosh.
How old?
Over 20. We'll say
20. Over 25
over 20,
years.
Right? Over 25?
I think so. So it was
I think it was 20.
So we met
22.
at Jordan's Furniture Mom Ride.
Oh.
And I want to say I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
How was I? No, maybe mid. No,
I'm going to say over
maybe.
20 years. We have to figure that out. But
We'll
I think over 20
we'll
years,
So
a
long time. A long
time. And then there was a big stretch where I had moved away to New York, and then I moved back just a couple years ago. Now that we're back, we get to see each other and relive old times. And I think part of this is it was inspired by, when you get older, like having friends that you can reminisce and things like that.
Sure.
When we lived together, when we were roommates, we watched a lot of stuff. We consumed a lot. We went to the movies a lot. And now it's kind of cool to be together again and say, oh, was it as good as we even thought it was?
Right. Because exactly. And just looking at it in a different lens, just thinking about it and saying, wow, I thought this person was so cool. And now I realized, boy, that person was just a loser.
Or even just filmmaking, like thinking like, oh my God, I love that movie.
Right.
There's things like Pulp Fiction that we talk about at work, and it's like, I think about that movie, and it's one of those things that I bought on DVD as soon as it came out. And I was like, oh, this movie is so amazing. And then, not that it's not, but I think there's like, sometimes hype trumps quality,
right.
And you're just not sure. And so I think like watching that movie now, I feel like there's parts that really drag. There's things that go nowhere, but that's a different episode.
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, things have changed so much, not only in our own lives, but also in the way that they make movies and our attention span with social media, and everything is so immediate and. It was a different way. It's a different way to make a movie and view a movie now than it was, 25 years ago. So it's just so interesting. I think it will be interesting to look back at the movies and the TV shows that we loved so much, and just to see if it just stood up to the test of time, as well as our opinions on the characters and the storylines and things that resonated with us or didn't.
Right. Well, I think too, but even with us now, it's like I feel like we always liked the same things when we were younger and when we were roommates and before that. And it was like, I feel like now I'll say, oh, did you see? And you're like, oh, I wasn't crazy about that. Or, oh, I did.
It's surprising to me.
It's surprising that we have different takes on things and different likes.
Yeah,
like,
because even now,
and vice versa,
I'll be watching something and I'll have you in the back of my mind when I'm watching it. I'll say, oh, wow, they have such strong characters. Brian would love this. Yeah. And
I'll be like, oh, I saw that. I didn't like it.
And then it's like, what do I even know about my best friend? I have no idea.
Well, you didn't like, for example, I liked, it's been canceled, but like One Day at a Time on Netflix, and I think it's great. I laugh, I cry, I really get emotional. and I was so excited to tell you, and then you're like, oh yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, I just couldn't get through it.
You thought it was like it's like a stage play and like
I don't know what it was.
I don't know. But to me, that really I loved it, but I think that happens more now that we don't really quite agree. So it'll be super interesting now to go back and watch things.
See if we still like the things that we
or
like,
didn't,
for sure.
or still don't like certain things. So we're looking forward to that, and hope you join us on these episodes, adventures, these whirlwinds of emotions, and that's kind of what to expect.
For sure.
Nostalgia overload. And it's, and also I think it should be said, we haven't gone there, but it should be said that we're definitely middle age. We are over the age of 45, if that's
if we've been friends for 20-something years, I think
most
of our listeners might have figured that one out.
They might not be obvious, but so we're over 45. So it's a different sort of point of view and perspective, and I think it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
We'll see.
I'm super excited about it.
Well, God willing, but we'll see how it goes. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to end this little bit, and we're going to planning on ending, I guess, future things with sort of Match Game style. It's one of our favorite game shows ever.
And see if we still know each other as well as we used to.
Yeah. So we have some conversation cards in front of us, and we're going to pick one up at random.
Yeah, let's pick one up. Do you want to pick it, or do you want me to? I'm a little bit nervous.
You pick it.
All right, I'm gonna do this one.
All right.
I'll do this one. Okay.
This isn't really quite Match Gamey style.
It's not, no.
Because it would take too long.
Yes,
but it's fine.
Way too long.
All right. What's the question?
So the question I have on this lovely conversation card is, what do people like about you?
Oh God.
So do you want to go first?
I think I will go. I think so, only because I will only truly go with things people have actually said to me. What people usually say to me is, God, this is obnoxious. They'll say, you're so funny. Oh, you're so funny. Sometimes it's weird, though, because people will go, you're so funny, but they won't laugh. And that's, I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. But then, and the other thing is, because I've been, like in my 20s, I was a manager. In my 30s, I kind of started off my career in a very different role than I'm in now, but, I was always told, you're diplomatic, you're very fair. And I like that thought. I do try and hear everybody, and I don't know if it comes from being the oldest in a big family or what, but I always try and hear people out, and I try and be thoughtful and diplomatic. There are some things that I don't bend on. I'm a bit, just so you guys, I'm a bit weird when it comes to people who litter. If I see litter on the road, it really affects me emotionally. But but it's for the most part, I really will I'll hear someone out. I am very diplomatic. I like being fair, and I try and be a good listener. So I think, and that has been said to me, people that that have worked for me or worked alongside of me, oh God, you're so diplomatic. Sometimes it's not even a compliment,
right?
But I think people appreciate it. I think people appreciate the attempt at being diplomatic. Sometimes it's tougher to do than others. But I would say funny and diplomatic. And I just didn't, and I ruined it because you didn't even get a chance to guess.
Why would I guess?
Well, because it would be Match Game.
Well, we're not doing a match game. We're not doing a match game this time.
We're already ruining it.
So, and also, you're very, you're a man of few words, is what most people say, I think, too. Or is that just me? Yeah.
Christina, what do people like about me?
I will tell you what people like about me. I am hilarious, for one.
People have said this to you?
People have said this to me. Right. That I'm very positive.
That's true.
I always see, the bright side of life, but it's usually in a snarky, sarcastic way,
of course,
which makes people
think you're funny.
Think I'm funny.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. So I do think, I carry with me a little bit of a shock value as well. So, and being a preschool teacher, that really comes in handy as long as you're
keep it
kind of on the down low about it.
Yeah.
But I think that people think that I'm, they appreciate my humor. They do. They appreciate my humor, and they appreciate that I'm a positive person, and I'm not someone that's going to be whining or complaining. Mm-hmm. I do that in a funny way. Mm-hmm. Cool. I do complain, but in more of a funny way.
So funny and positive.
Yes, funny and positive. That's me.
Right. So,
and any of my friends that are listening, please feel free to pipe in. We have an email address, which is
oldroommatespod@gmail.com.
Yes.
Shoot us all your questions. Comments, hate emails. Hate's fine.
That's
I'm diplomatic, like I said, so I can see through the hate.
Yes.
And also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. at Old Roommates.
And we also want to know what you guys would like us to watch and chat about.
Yeah.
We won't always take your suggestions, but it will be good. It'll be good for a laugh. No, honestly, we'd love to hear what you're thinking about the podcast, but also send in some suggestions, and maybe it's something that we would be interested in watching and talking about.
Yeah, so it's oldroommatespod@gmail.com and Old Roommates on Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And that will do it. Till next time.
Till next
recording?
time. So it is recording. So thanks so much for listening. We're excited for this little venture. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.
Bye.